Ashitang payitang chaham kritang chakritamapyaham parang chaiva parang chaham ahang sarva parayana. I am the eaten and the drunk. I am too the done and the undone. I am the superior and the inferior. I am the sun and the refuge of all. Aham jagadhitang divyam aksharam sukshmam avyayam prajapatyam pavitrang cha saumyam agrahyam agriyam. I am the good of the world. I am also the divine, imperishable, and the subtle. I am the very self of Prajāpati, the firstborn God. I am sacred, benign, ungraspable, and the first. Ahang evopasangharta mahagrasauja nidhi hridiyo devatatvena prāṇatvena pratishtitaha. I am alone the withdrawer. I am the container of the luminous fire of deluge. I am established in the heart of everyone as divinity and vital power. Shiraschotarato yasya padau dakshinatastata yascha sarvottara sakshad ādkāroham trimatrakaha. I am the very prāṇava, ādkāra, consisting of three padas, ā, whose head is the north, feet the south, and the middle is all that is in between. Urdhvam chonnamahe yasmad adhaschapanayam yaham tasmad ॐकार evahang eko nitya sanatanaha. I am truly the prāṇava, one, eternal and ancient, because I lead pious souls upwards to heaven and send them down to earth again when their merit is exhausted. Richo yajungsi samani yo brahma yajna karmani pranamahe brahmanebhyasten ahang prāṇavo mataha. I am called Praṇava because in the act of sacrifice, I, as Brahma, directing the sacrifice, make the Ritviks render obeisance to the Brahmanas, the Rik, Yajus, and Sama Vedas. Namaste. So, Śiva is food and drink. He nourishes all the living beings. This is part of his being the father, the original Prajāpati. His sons are Brahma and Vishnu, and they carry out the further work of populating the universe. So we'll get into this more in a little bit when we talk about ॐकार. He's the done and the undone, the superior and the inferior, the sun, and the refuge of all. Is there any other refuge than Śiva? I don't think so, because everything else is temporary. In this world, only Śiva is permanent. Everything else comes and goes. So what value is it as a refuge? How can we take shelter of something that we know is impermanent? That's foolishness. Yet we see people take shelter of all kinds of material things: wealth, power, beauty, knowledge, religiosity, renunciation, even physical beauty. But all these things are perishable. They come and go. Everything that has a beginning also has an end. So all these things are born or created or manifested at a certain point in time. They don't make very good refuges. So one should take refuge in Śiva alone, because he is the good of the world. Did you ever notice, like, go out in the woods or at the seashore or somewhere else where there's no influence of human beings, and how beautiful this world is? I mean, really, it's exquisitely designed. Not only that, we are uniquely qualified to appreciate it. There's something, for example, about the beauty of an animal, like a beautiful horse, or a beautiful tree, or mountain, or even the sky, that resonates with something deep within us, isn't it? But when we look at the creations of human beings, they're not so nice. Cars and roads and cities, airplanes, I mean, they're so ugly, so linear, square, blocky, and inelegant. Whereas all the creations of nature are aesthetic and beautiful. Śiva is the good in all of this. And he's also the divine, the imperishable, the subtle. That's why yoga, meditation, and spiritual life specialize in the knowledge of the divine and imperishable, the subtle world, the invisible world, which is actually the cause of the visible world. Those who get hung up on the visible world are less intelligent. He is sacred, benign, ungraspable, and the first. Our intelligence is not capable of really fully understanding him. Only by his mercy do we even know of him at all, because he is part of that subtle, invisible world. So he gives the education through the scriptures by which we can come to him. Otherwise, we wouldn't have any means of even approaching him. He is alone the withdrawer. When the world or parts of the world disappear and go away, he is the one behind it. He's the one who determines when things are born and when things disappear. That's his nature. That's his job, actually, as the creator. He determines the lifespan of all creatures. He is the container of the luminous fire of deluge, the fire at the end of the universe that burns everything to ashes. And he is established in the heart of everyone as divinity and vital power. He is life itself. He is consciousness. He is really everything that we know. And now for the really important stuff. He is the prāṇava, ÄØЛkāra. And he mentions that it consists of three padas. He says, ॐकारोऽहं trimatrakaha. Three matra, three beats or three padas of Sanskrit. That means ah, oo, Each one gets a full beat. And not only that, but they are representing himself and Uma and the world and their relationship and so on. Therefore, he says his head is in the north, his feet are in the south, and then everything in the middle is also him. So this is the correct understanding of Aum. Aum. And the last The last akshara, has a nasal resonance, which you see in the mark on the top, the visarga and the bindu. And I'm going to read a passage from Śiva Purana that explains this more thoroughly. But he says, the prāṇava leads pious souls upward to heaven. And then when their merit is exhausted, they come down again to the earth. Now, this is talking about religious merit. It's not talking about transcendental realization, jnana. That is permanent. That transforms us from beings of the relative world to the absolute world. That's a whole different category of experience than the religious merit, because religious merit applies to the individual. And the individual is Maya. The very concept that I am an individual being is the root delusion in the causes of suffering. So we should give this up. Then he says, I am called Praṇava because in the act of sacrifice, I, as Brahma directing the sacrifice, make the ritviks, the priests who are performing the sacrifice on behalf of a very rich man or a king or like that, render obeisance to the brahmanas of the Rik, Yajas, and Samavedas. We discussed the brahmanas in our video on the structure of the Vedic literature, but basically they are the instructions to the priests how to perform the ritual. That's why they're called brahmanas, because they give the priests the clue how to invoke Brahman. And this is prāṇava. Prāṇava means the life force. So Śiva is the life force, and he is also the force of the sacrifice. That makes it potent. That makes it work. And he explains further about Aum in detail in Śiva Purana. This occurs after the conflict between Brahma and Vishnu was resolved by Śiva appearing as a column of fire, the Agni Linga. And Brahma went to the top, Vishnu went to find the bottom, but both of them were unsuccessful. That means that Śiva is beyond Brahma and Vishnu, who are actually limited to the material universe, but he is beyond it. So then after all that was done, he said, "O dear sons, your delusion was the result of your not meditating upon me. If you had retained my knowledge, you would not have imbibed this false pride of being Mahesha yourselves. Hence, hereafter, both of you shall start reciting the mantra Ä낳kāra to acquire knowledge of me. It shall quell your false pride as well. I have taught this great auspicious mantra. Ä낳kāra came out of my mouth. Originally it indicated me. It is the indicator, and I am the indicated. This mantra is identical with me. The repetition of this mantra is verily my repeated remembrance. The syllable A came first from the northern face, the syllable U from the western, the syllable from the southern, and the bindu dot from the eastern face. The nada, mystical sound, came from the middle face. Thus the complete set cropped up in fivefold form, then all of them united in the syllable of Aum. The two sets of created beings, Nama, name, and Rupa, form, are pervaded by this mantra. It indicates Śiva and Shakti. From this is also born the five-syllabled mantra Namah Shivaya. It indicates all knowledge. The syllables na, etc., follow the order of the syllables a, etc., in the prāṇava. From the five-syllabled mantra, the five mothers were born. The Shiro mantra is born of that. The three-footed Gayatri also came out of the four faces. The entire set of Vedas and crores of mantras were born of that. Different things are achieved through different mantras, but everything is achieved through ॐकार alone. By this root mantra, the very enjoyment as well as salvation is achieved. All the royal mantras are auspicious and directly accord enjoyment. Then later on he says, your knowledge shall be stabilized. Permanent fortune shall stand by you. On the Chaturdashi day, and on the day with the Ardra star, the recital of this mantra will give you everlasting efficacy. The recital of this mantra at the time when the transit of the sun is in the Ardra star is millionfold efficacious. In the context of worship, Homa and Tarpana, the last quarter of the star Mrigashiras and the first quarter of Purnavasu must always be considered on a par with Ardra. The vision is to be had at early dawn and within 3 muhurtas, 2 hours and 24 minutes thereafter. Chaturdashi is to be taken when it continues up to midnight. If it is only up to the early part of the night and joined with another thereafter, it is also recommended. Although I consider the phallic and the embodied form to be equal, the phallic form is excellent for those who worship. Hence, for those who seek salvation, the latter is preferable to the former. The others too shall install the phallic form with ॐकार mantra and the embodied form with the 5-syllabled mantra, with excellent articles of worship and adore with due homage. It will be easy for them to attain my region. So everyone who wants detailed knowledge of Śiva and who wants to practice this knowledge should read Śiva Purana, because there all the information is given, all the knowledge, all the secrets are revealed. Not only that, the reasons for them is also given. So if you really want to approach Śiva, if you really want to get salvation through him, you should read Śiva Purana. And what do you know? There's a link in the video description to the complete edition of Śiva Purana. So when you hear people say Om, tell them, no, that's not correct. It's Aum. 3 divine letters, A, U, and described in the scriptures that way by the Lord himself. Aum Tat Sat, Aum Shakti Aum, Aum Namah Shivaya.